Okay, good. I didn't want to knock this over. Hey guys, it's Eden, and I am back in the bathroom for another Monday on Our Wi-Fi Vibes. This week, we're doing impersonations. So, as you may or may not know, I am a big Harry Potter fan, and I'm very open about it, so if you go to my school, you should know I'm a big Harry Potter fan. So here, I have my Harry Potter books, and they might look a bit different from yours because there's a Canadian version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking and flipping to random taking the book and flipping to a random page, and I'm going to be impersonating the character I'm going to be reading the line in the book, and then I'm going to impersonate it. So this is going to be interesting. Let's go. I am first reading from Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I'm warning you now, I'm not really sure how long this video is going to be because the page, I'm reading like the whole page and stuff because it's like a scene. So it's on page 81 in the chapter, The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. The boys entered and Harry recognized the middle one at once. It was a pale boy from Madame Malkin's robe shop. He was looking at Harry with a lot more interest than he had shown back in Diagon Alley. Is it true, they said, that they're all going down to the train saying Harry Potter's in this compartment? So it's you, is it? Yes, said Harry. He was looking at the other boys. Both of them were thick-set and looked extremely mean, standing either side of the pale boy like bodyguards. God, I'm sorry, my reading isn't the best. So, oh, this is Crabbe, and this is Goyle, said the pale boy carelessly, noticing where Harry was looking. And my name's Malfoy. Draco Malfoy. Ron gave a slight cough, which might have been hiding a snicker. Snicker. Draco Malfoy looked at him. Think my name's funny, do you? No need to ask who you are. My father told me all about all the Weasleys have red hair, freckles, and more children than they can afford. He turned back to Harry. You'll soon find out some Wizarding families are much better than others, Potter. You don't want to go making friends with the wrong sort. I can help you there. He held out his hand to shake Harry's, but Harry didn't take it. I think I can tell who the wrong sort are for myself, thanks, he said coolly. Draco Malfoy didn't go red, but a pink tinge appeared on his pale cheeks. I'd be careful if I were you, Potter, he said slowly. Unless you're a bit politer, you'll go the same way as your parents. They didn't know what was good for them either. You hang around with riffraff like the Weasleys and that Hagrid and it'll rub off on you. So, in the movie, it's all like, is it true what they say on the train? Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts. That's Crabbe, and that's Goyle. And I'm Malfoy. Draco Malfoy. And then Ron's all like, and he just looks at him, he's like, think my name's funny, do you? I need to ask yours, red hair, and a hand-me-down robe, you must be a Weasley. And then Ron's like, and then Malfoy looks back at Harry, and he's like, you'll soon find out that some Wizarding families are much better than others, Potter. I can help you there. And then Harry's like, I think I can find the wrong sort for myself, thanks. Okay, book 2. So next, we're reading Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. One of my favorites, actually, just because I love Draco Malfoy, like, a lot. This is in the chapter Dobby's Reward on page 284. He caught up with them at the top of the stairs. Mr. Malfoy, he gasped, skidding to a halt. I've got something for you. He forced the smelly sock into Lucius Malfoy's hand. What the? Mr. Malfoy ripped the sock off the diary, threw it aside, then looked furiously from the ruined book to Harry. You'll meet the same sticky end as your parents one of these days, Harry Potter, he said softly. They were some meddlesome fools, too. He turned to go. Come, Dobby, I said come! But Dobby didn't move. He was holding Harry's disgusting, slimy sock, looking at it as though it were a priceless treasure. Master has given Dobby a sock, said the elf in wonderment. Master gave it to Dobby. What's that? Spat Mr. Malfoy. What did you say? Master has given Dobby a sock, said Dobby in misbelief. Master threw it, and Dobby caught it, and Dobby is free. But in the movie, Dobby's all like, Master has given Dobby a sock. Dobby is a free elf. That's literally it. And then Dobby just like walks away and Lucius Malfoy's like, you fool! On to Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Okay, so in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, we will be reading page 82 in the chapter Talons and Tea Leaves, towards the bottom. What is it, Professor? Dean said Dean Thomas at once. Everyone had gotten to their feet, and slowly they crowded around Harry and Ron's table, pressing close to Professor Trelawney's chair to get a good look at Harry's cup. My dear Professor Trelawney, Professor Trelawney's huge eyes opened up dramatically. You have the Grim. The what? Said Harry. He could tell he wasn't the only one who didn't understand. Dean Thomas shrugged at him, and Lavender Brown looked puzzled, but nearly everyone else clapped their hands to their mouths in horror. The Grim, my dear, the Grim, cried Professor Trelawney, who looked shocked that Harry hadn't understood. The giant spectral dog that haunts the churchyards. My dear boy, it is an omen, the worst omen, of death. And then Professor Trelawney in the movie, she's all like, my dear, you have the Grim. And then she's like, okay. So in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, we will be doing one of my favorite reenactments. On page 242, The Four Champions. Towards the bottom, Professor Dumbledore was now looking down at Harry, who looked right back at him, trying to discern the expression of the eyes behind the half-moon spectacles. Did you put your name into the Goblet of Fire, Harry? Dumbledore asked calmly. No, said Harry. He was very aware of everybody watching him closely. Snape made a soft noise of impatient disbelief in the shadows. Did you ask an older student to put it into the Goblet of Fire for you, said Dumbledore, ignoring Snape. No, said Harry vehemently. Ah, but of course he is lying, cried Madame Maxine. Snape was now shaking his head, his lip curling. Okay, in the book, it says, Dumbledore asked Harry calmly. But in the movie, he runs up to Harry. He's like, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And then Harry's like, no. And then Madame Maxine's like, but of course he is lying. But she's not Italian, she's French. So, that was fun. Okay. I'm back. So, in Order of the Phoenix, I'm sorry, I hate this book. So I just kind of found one. We're on page 403. In the chapter, The Eye of the Snake. Stop. Hang on, it's like shooting. Mistletoe, said Cho quietly, pointing at the ceiling over his head. Yeah, said Harry. His mouth was very dry. It's probably full of nargles, though. What are nargles? No idea, said Harry. She had moved closer. His brain seemed to have been stunned. You'd have to ask Looney Luna, I mean. Cho made a funny noise halfway between a sob and a laugh, so kind of like... She was even near to him now. He could have counted the freckles on her nose. I really like you, Harry. He couldn't think. A tingling sensation was spreading through him, paralyzing his arms, legs, and brain. She was too close. She was much too close. He could see every tear clinging to her eyelashes, and then on the next page, it's all like... Is it Cho? She asked in a businesslike way. Did she corner you after the meeting? Numbly surprised, Harry nodded. Ron sniggered, breaking off when Hermione caught his eye. So, what did she want? He asked in a mock casual voice. Harry began rather hoarsely. He cleared his throat and tried again. Did you kiss? Hermione asked briskly. Ron sat up. Josh, what do you want? Oh, that's my dog. Ron sat up so fast, he set the ink bottle flying all over the rug. Disregarding this completely, he stared angrily at Harry. Well, he demanded. Harry looked from Ron's expression of mingled curiosity and hilarity to Hermione's slight frown and nodded. Ha! Oh God, that book was awful. I hated that book. But in the movie, it's all like mistletoe, and Harry's like, I bet you it's full of nargles. She's like, what are nargles? I don't know. And then they're all like, it's weird. And then Ron's like, did you kiss? And Hermione's like, yeah, did you kiss? And then Harry's like, ha! We are going to look at Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and in the chapter The Lightning Struck Tower on page 556 in my book. Draco, do it, or stand aside so one of us, screeched the woman, but at the precise moment the door to the ramparts burst open once more, and there stood Snape, his wand clutched in his hand, his black eyes swept from the scene, from Dumbledore slumped against the wall, to the four Death Eaters, including the enraged werewolf and Malfoy. We've got a problem, Snape, said the lumpy Amicus, whose eyes and wands were fixed upon Dumbledore. The boy doesn't seem able to but somebody else had spoken Snape's name quite softly. Severus. The sound frightened Harry beyond anything he had experienced all evening. For the first time, Dumbledore was pleading. Snape said nothing, but walked forwards and pushed Malfoy roughly out of the way. The 3 Death Eaters fell back without a word. Even the werewolf seemed cowed. Snape gazed for a moment at Dumbledore, and there was revulsion and hatred etched in the harsh lines of his face. Severus, please. Snape raised his wand and pointed it directly at Dumbledore. Avada Kedavra. A jet of green light shot from the end of Snape's wand and hit Dumbledore squarely in the chest. Harry's scream of horror never left him silent and unmoving. He was forced to watch as Dumbledore was blasted into the air. For a split second, seemed to hang suspended beneath the shining skull. And then he slowly fell backwards like a great ragdoll over the battlements and out of sight. That was really depressing. But then in the movie, he's all like, Severus, please. And then we're gonna use my makeup brush as a wand. Oh, there's still makeup on that, awkward. And then Severus is all like, Avada Kedavra. And then Dumbledore's like, nah. And then he just kind of dies, and Harry's like, I'm so happy. Okay. In Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, we are going to be looking at one of my favorite Molly Weasley lines ever in the chapter A Flaw in the Plan on page 589. Voldemort was now dueling McGonagall, Slughorn, and Kingsley all at once, and there was cold hatred in his face as they wove and ducked around him, unable to finish him. Wow, that sounds sexual. Bellatrix was still fighting too, 50 yards away from Voldemort, and like the Master, she had dueled 3 at once. Hermione, Ginny, and Luna all battling their hardest, but Bellatrix was equal to them, and Harry's attention was diverted as a killing curse shot so close to Ginny that she missed death by an inch. He changed course, running at Bellatrix rather than Voldemort, but before he had gone down the steps, he was knocked sideways. Not my daughter, you bitch! Molly Weasley threw her cloak off as she ran, freeing her arms. Bellatrix spun on the spot, roaring with laughter at the sight of her new challenger. Out of my way, Molly Weasley shouted to the 3 girls. With the swipe of her wand, she began to duel. Molly Weasley is just fucking fierce, you know what I'm saying? So, she's all like... So Bellatrix is all like, Avada Kedavra, like death curse and shit. And then Molly Weasley, she like runs up to Bellatrix. She's like, not my daughter, you bitch! And then she like punches her, I think. Eventually Bellatrix dies. So, yeah. That was my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, I did it. I almost did it again. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next week. Mwah!